Okay, Adina Porter, you just got nominated for your very first Emmy Award for American Horror Story Cult.
Yes.
Tell us, how did you find out about the nomination?
That's a good story. I'm in the dressing room because I am part of American Horror Story Apocalypse. It's been announced, so I can say it. Thank you very much. And so out of the corner of my eye, I see Sarah Paulson on the phone. We're in the makeup trailer. And I see Sarah Paulson on the phone and people are starting to clap. And she says, "I've been nominated." She mouthed that. And then nominations started coming in. Hair got nominated, and everyone claps, and makeup got nominated, everyone claps. And there are stylists in the trailer who are from Versace. And so there are hairstylists with their first nominations and clapping. And so about 15 minutes goes by. I'm already teasing Sarah about what she's going to wear. And Leslie Grossman comes up to me with her phone in her hand and points and says, "Adina, do you know you have been nominated?" And I said, "You're lying." And she goes, "No, Hollywood Reporter just announced Adina Porter, Best Supporting Actress, but in a drama series." And then the entire trailer stops and says, "But it's not a drama series. It's a limited series or movie." And then Sarah Paulson says, "But they did the same thing with Jeff Daniels," so that everyone starts getting on their phone and starts texting to find out what's going on. And then Sarah says to me, "So Adina, what does your phone say?" And I said, "My phone is in my trailer because I'm a professional." And she said, "Go get your expletive phone and enjoy this moment." So I got out of the works and I went and I got my phone, but it still hadn't blown up because many years we have looked and nothing happened. And so my manager was walking her dog. My agent had repair people in. I called my New York agent. I told them. So it wasn't until Sylvie, one of the makeup artists, went through all the 64 pages of
It
the
was long, yeah.
that in black and white on the Emmy website, we saw it, and then I cried.
You've been working in television for such a long time. I thought for sure Roanoke would be your first nomination. So I was personally bummed. So it's almost like this is like a makeup, like we did you wrong last year. Now we're gonna make it up to you this year.
That's very sweet of you to say. Thank you very much. It's been a dream working on the series, and I definitely get a lot of juicy material to react to.
And you played Beverly Hope. She was the news reporter. She got mixed up in this deadly cult led by Evan Peters,
Yes.
he should have been nominated if you ask me.
Absolutely.
And how did you go about perfecting your newscaster voice? Because there's like an art to it, isn't there?
There's absolutely there is a cadence to it. Gosh, I guess just listening to people. And I have to say, this wasn't my first experience in a newsroom. I was on HBO's Aaron Sorkin's Newsroom for 3 years. And so I wasn't a reporter there. I was in the bullpen, but I got to steep in the news reporter world and sharing pertinent information with a smile and sharing. There's a phrase called tragedy porn, where you are sharing information that is incredibly uncomfortable to talk about, but it also, as news people, we know it will keep the audience tuning in still. Like maybe even like vein lining this tragic information. So I got back into that vein and listened. And then it wasn't until about a couple of episodes in that Ryan Murphy told me the name of the local news person who Beverly Hope was modeled after. I was like, "Oh, really? Okay, that's really good information to know." And went and researched her.
The fourth episode was a really strong one for you. That was kind of the flashback episode that showed how you got, indoctrinated into this cult. And that's actually the one that you have submitted for the Emmy voters to watch as well.
Mhm.
What is it about this episode that stood out to you as an actress?
Well, it was quite a roller coaster ride. Um, it starts out on election day with me um, giving some, I guess, what is it called? Local
Like the
color.
poll
Yeah.
exit polls.
So, interviewing an election night. So we thought, it's voting, so that was kind of, appropriate.
Mhm.
But I get to do all these twists and turns. We are um, broadcasting from an election site, but then I am challenged by a younger, sexier reporter who gets airtime because she is sleeping with the head of the network. Um, I get to share how incredibly unfair it is. So there's ageism as well as sexism uh, going on. You get to see Beverly Hope deal with navigating, um, trying to do a good, honest job as a news reporter, but it's an uphill battle because I am dealing with someone who will do sexual favors to get on the air.
Mm.
Um, but then you also see Beverly Hope turn on a dime in a uh, landfill, which was incredibly fun
Mhm.
to do because there is the truth of being in heels in a landfill and the smell of walking in a landfill and the smell of viewing a decapitated body in the landfill. But it's network news, so you got to put on a smile and report it. But then I also get to take my mask off, my newscaster mask off, my um, uh, I have it all together mask off, and reveal to um, Kyle Evans Peters' character that I would love to trust someone. I would love to have someone in my corner, but I've been denied that so many times that I don't really believe it myself.
Mm.
So uh, I, I I really did not want Beverly Hope to be an angry Black woman. And the writers let me share her vulnerabilities. And we see that in episode 4.
Mm.
And then the mask gets back on, and I'm slashing people for the rest of the show.
And then you had a lot of your scenes with Emma Roberts. You guys were going head to head. Is that fun as an actress to just scream and yell at somebody?
Yes, it was, and she's quite a hoot to play against. Sure, yeah, you know what I mean, and she has quite a lot of stingers about my breast and everything else that should not be in consideration when we're talking about being a news professional. I let them land, but I have a couple of choice words back for her as well.
And Beverly had this strong arc from the very beginning to the very end. We'll talk about the end in a second. Is that one of the great things about American Horror Story, that it allows all of you guys to play a complete character from beginning, middle, and end?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And all the incredible twists and turns. And because, great writing takes time. And so you're not going to have, the entire script, um, laid out for you. So in lots of ways, you can only play the given circumstances that you have in the moment, and then be open and aware to whatever twist and turn comes next. And it's never predictable. Um, so, I thought in the beginning that Beverly Hope was, you can put her on the good guys category.
Hmm.
Um, but I guess she got pushed too far and decided, well, one person's bad guys, another person's revolutionary, right?
Right. Would you call her a villain, or would you just call her, a complicated character? She wasn't pure evil like Kai was pure evil.
No, right. Thank you, Kai. Yeah, man. Oh, so many names to remember. Um, you know, a friend of mine came up to me after watching the show and she's like, "You're sick, Adina." And I was like, "No, Beverly's just misunderstood." But you know what? I think we all can be evil. If you push me too far, we all have an incredibly evil side. Um, so I got to be careful being a mom because your kids know where your buttons are. They've installed them,
Hmm.
and I we all can be evil. So she's misunderstood. She got pushed, and yeah, she became evil.
You had the great moment in the finale on the stage of the debate with Sarah Paulson and Evan Peters, where Sarah kind of had the final line there, but you actually were the one to pull the trigger on Kai. What was that moment like, just to kind of be the heroic character there at the end?
Be vindicated. Be vindicated. Yeah, I'm a nasty woman. It was incredibly empowering. And it was also payback because I trusted Kyle. I trusted Kai and on so many incredible levels. The first time we did it, full disclosure, in front of all the background artists, they cheered. They didn't even know the entire story, but just the body language of what was going on, they could tell that someone was getting some payback. Um, and then the director had to go, "Okay, everybody, we don't cheer when someone gets shot in the head. let's let's be fearful that she might turn the gun and start shooting at the audience," which
Hmm.
they didn't do me wrong, so I wouldn't have done that.
And
Yeah.
how was Beverly, if you could kind of compare her to your Roanoke character, Lee, um, did they have any similarities? Were they completely different?
I think they were similar in that they both um, chose to rationalize some choices that they had to know was wrong. Um, but they decided to both of them decided to drink the Kool-Aid, one literally, um, uh, and get revenge when they could. I think they are different in that um, my Roanoke character, the tension of being a police officer, the disgrace of being fired for doing your job, um, uh, but you know, she started taking pills. I mean, her family turned against her. Um, Beverly did not have the intimate betrayal of a husband and a child turning against you, which,
Hmm.
um, is a whole nother level. I mean, when your team turns against you, the person who you thought would stand by you, your husband and your daughter, um, you know, that pushes incredible buttons. Um, but I feel like Beverly was more it was more rational choices to go crazy. and
Right.
and I think my character in Roanoke, it happened more organically, and she was pushed to kind of like, is it fight or flight?
Hmm.
You know, for her it was more organic, and it was physically she had to fight. And Beverly was more calculated, more analytical.
And you guest starred on way back in season 1, which I completely blacked out of my mind. And then when they asked you back for season 6, I guess 5 years later, what was that call like when you got the call back to come back and do another character?
It wasn't a call, it was an audition.
Oh.
I went in and I auditioned for Roanoke. And I'm told later on that they liked my read a lot, but Ryan Murphy went back and reviewed my performance in season 1 to see if they still liked it. I was told that it was memorable and it planted something in the back of his head, but he had to go back and review it. He reviewed it. He still liked it, and then they offered me the job.
Hmm.
So I had to work for it.
Yeah. You've done so many shows that I'm sure you get recognized on the street from. You mentioned Newsroom, and then there's True Blood, and what do you get recognized for the most? The 100?
That's a really good question. I'm always surprised because it used to be back in the day, it was just True Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started doing Indra, it was if you were under 20, it was the 100. And if you were over, it was True Blood. I don't know, maybe True Blood must be streaming somewhere because all of a sudden people, and I was at the pizzeria with my kids the other day, and this young person was talking about True Blood. And sometimes it's incredibly uncomfortable when they're really young and they're talking about True Blood.
Yeah.
There's great sex scenes that I just think, what were your parents? What are your parents doing? What do I get recognized most for? It's a good problem to have. I sometimes I don't even ask. I just say thank you because I don't know if it's True Blood. I don't know if it's American Horror Story. I don't know if it's the 100. I don't know if it's Ray Donovan. I don't know if it's Law and Order. So I just say thank you.
Well, is there anything you can tease about Apocalypse? I know Ryan Murphy likes to, keep the lock and key.
Yeah. And then fire people who let things out. I'm just going to say that it's an opportunity for me to yet again show another side. And yeah, maybe a side that I've never shown before.
Hmm.
And I thought because of the 100 and an apocalypse that I knew everything about what life after an apocalypse would be. But Ryan Murphy and the writers of American Horror Story have shown a whole other side of an apocalypse. So I think people will be surprised and intrigued, and yet again, I'm being blown away by the performances that I'm seeing with my fellow cast members.
Well, congrats again on your Emmy nomination. We'll see you at the ceremony. We'll be there on the carpet, so come say hi to Gold Derby.
Thank you so much.